You how with a free, detailed, written analysis illustrating your cost savings. We usually uncover savings between 10 and 25%, and sometimes more. We can help your business succeed by providing reliable and secure merchant payment solutions such as merchant services programs, point-of-sale systems, and ATM machines. TCS, one of the leaders in regional credit card processing consulting, offers electronic payments to merchants locally and nationwide through our preferred vendor programs. We work to keep business costs down with a comprehensive suite of quality products, services, and customized credit card processing programs exclusively tailored for your company. TCS is convenient, reliable, and innovative, with customer service available 24/7, 365 days a year. Our in-depth industry knowledge, partnership strategy, and innovative processing solutions allow for a specialized approach to providing merchant bank processing with 100% full fee disclosure. TCS is one-stop shopping for all your merchant services solutions. Our clients save money 100% of the time. Trust Tanker Consulting Services, the knowledgeable, professional, and friendly provider of secure payment services. We set the standard by which others are measured. Call now for a free written analysis. 609-922-0201.
Welcome back to Morning Coffee. I'm Jim Cucinato. I'm here with Ed Frost, who is the president of Aeris Consulting. Aeris Consulting is a fascinating business. It deals with respiratory therapists, and that's the extent of what I know without Ed telling me. Welcome, Ed.
Hey, Jim. Thanks for having me.
So tell me about your company.
So Aeris Consulting and Management is a post-acute care. In other words, we do respiratory care services in long-term care facilities.
Okay.
So Aeris is Latin for of the air we breathe, and our logos are yellow and green, air and oxygen.
Okay.
You know, what we do is we fill in the gap in long-term care facilities. You know, if you've ever had an experience with long-term care, meaning a skilled nursing facility, they do a lot of things really, really great. You know, nursing care, speech therapy, occupational therapy, physical therapy, dietary, but most facilities leave out that last piece of the pie, which is respiratory care.
Right.
And most folks that actually get readmitted back to the hospital, you know, go back to the hospital because of a respiratory related issue.
Okay, and what does your company, what's kind of the physical work that you guys do?
So the physical work is essentially, you know, we go into a facility and we find out what their needs are. You know, primarily we provide a lot of education, skilled in servicing. We assist their marketing team with teaching them how to promote a respiratory program.
Okay.
And then we give them the tools to actually run an effective respiratory care program.
Okay, which would involve?
So we provide licensed respiratory therapists into the facilities. We provide all of the equipment, all of the supplies that they would need to handle someone who was being admitted from a hospital in a long-term care facility, to be able to, you know, meet all of their respiratory needs.
Okay.
You know, with the primary focus that they're going to get the equipment and the service that they need so that the resident gets well and doesn't get readmitted back to the hospital.
Sure, so you're talking about things like oxygen, right, breathing exercises.
Oxygen, breathing exercises, BiPAP, which is bi-level positive airway pressure, which is very similar to the CPAP machines people use for sleep apnea. But this device actually is more designed to help people recuperate from a severe breathing illness, and oftentimes they're discharged with that type of equipment.
Right.
So we actually go in and see the resident, fit them appropriately, in service the nursing staff, then follow up on that resident to make sure that they're getting well according to the care plan that was laid out for them.
Okay. Are you also doing things like smoking cessation, exercise plans, or is it kind of like a full wellness?
We do. I mean, according to to some residents and some facilities' needs, you know, we'll build comprehensive kind of pulmonary rehab programs within the long-term care facility, you know, to work with their residents for smoking cessation, to help them build their pulmonary status. You know, we bring a lot of high-tech technology to these facilities that actually, one of the devices we have in our arsenal is called the NIOB, which is a non-invasive ventilation system that we use in rehabilitation so that people with end-stage lung disease can actually breathe through therapy and actually have an opportunity to get their large muscle groups back to where they need to be, get them better, get them stronger.
Awesome. Do you work on sleep as well? Is that part of a respiratory therapist?
In this environment, we do some sleep. I mean, primarily it's a lot of rehabilitation, a lot of lung disease rehabilitation, a lot of disease recovery from CHF, congestive heart failure, folks that have had severe infections in the hospital that are just deconditioned, and that's directly affecting their lungs.
Right.
It's an interesting population. I would say that we do about 10% of our the residents that we see have a sleep disorder, and we could do sleep testing in the skilled nursing facilities, which no one's really doing,
right.
Which is kind of a huge problem, for nursing facilities upon the discharge.
Sure.
But we're the company that you call when essentially everything that you could potentially ever need to take care of someone that has a respiratory issue. We have 3 warehouses throughout the East Coast, so that we're able to get same-day delivery anywhere for any type of equipment that they would need.
And who is calling you? Is it the long-term care facility? Is it the discharge planner from a hospital saying, "Hey, I have a patient I need you to watch"? Who are really your clients?
It's interesting. I mean, primarily our clients are nurses that we've worked with in the past.
Okay.
That we've done, that we've come into a facility where a nurse was working, has seen the quality and the amount of compassion and the amount of work that we're able to perform. Mm-hmm. So a ton of our referrals come from folks who have had experience with us.
Okay.
And primarily, there's a lot of different facets. Administrators from nursing facilities may call and say, we're trying to partner with a hospital and we don't have a respiratory therapy program. We're not exactly sure what we need or how we need to do it. Can you come in and help us? So
right.
We get a lot of calls from the administrators. We get a lot of calls from hospital discharge planners that know us throughout the East Coast and the facilities that we've worked in.
Right.
That will help us kind of bridge the gap between their hospital and the nursing home.
Nursing home. So typically, it is the facility ends up being your major client. Are they also the kind of the gatekeeper in terms of making sure that anything any services you provide that are billable, they handle that, and is that, or are you also working directly with the patient in that capacity?
No, we're essentially a vendor of the facility.
Great.
So we work directly with the facility. We work with their budget. We work with them, on a patient by patient and long-term care of their residents. It's a home. On a resident by resident basis. I think we bring a little something different to the table, is that we're quite aware of what the long-term care billing model is and what the business model is. So we come at it from 2 facets. We're expert clinicians, mm-hmm. That can bring strong solutions to meet their objective, but we also care about the owner of the facility, the administrator, the budget guy in the corner with the leather hat and the adding machine, and we bring those 2 pieces together to come up with a good solution.
Excellent.
To help these facilities get exactly what they need.
I'm Jim Cucinato. We're on Morning Coffee. I'm talking to Ed Frost, who's the president of Aeris Consulting. We're talking about respiratory therapy inside of assisted living facilities. So one of the things that we were talking about is kind of who should call you, right? So if you're a rehab facility or if you're a long-term care facility, you need to call Ed.
You do. I mean, and a lot of this has all come out essentially from the Accountable Care Act, where hospitals, governments are holding hospitals accountable for readmission rates, and now hospitals are now holding their referral partners, their long-term care facilities, right. Responsible for readmission rates, and as a part of that bundle, lung disease, COPD, and pneumonia are the 3 primary factors that they're being dinged on. So
good. Now I know you have over 300 facilities, I believe you said, that you guys work with. You're not going to all of them. So who are you typically looking for as a profile to put inside of a facility?
It's funny. I mean, there are over 300 facilities in our network. Out of those 300, where we actively go, in about 40% of those buildings, and the rest are kind of as needed based on what their clientele is coming into the facilities. But we place highly skilled registered respiratory therapists in these facilities that are licensed by the state, mm-hmm. That have an active CPR card, that are fully vetted through a background check. But primarily, and that's who everybody hires. Right. But the people that we hire are folks that understand that as a respiratory therapist, this is probably where you can make your biggest impact. Right. In this environment, because it's not like a hospital where the hospital is dictating you a work list.
Sure.
This
here's your jobs for today.
This is a critical thinking, this is a critical thinking position. This is a consulting type of service that we do, and we're not the company to call if you just need equipment dropped off.
Right.
We're the company to call that, sure you need your equipment, but we also want to educate and make sure everybody's on board, and we want to make sure the resident doesn't get readmitted.
Right. So you're looking for more mature, more seasoned therapists, I would imagine, probably people that kind of believe in the old way of doing things, in that patient care is 1, 2, and 3 of their job.
Exactly.
Paperwork and churn and burn.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, this is a collaborative effort. This is this is a person who can think outside of the box, that can speak well with nurses and physicians, communicate the care plan well, discuss between the care plan team as to what their opinion is and how well they think they could help manage this resident.
Yep.
And and be able to pull it off.
Sure. Now, if they went to their website, if I was a respiratory therapist and I was looking for extra work, so to speak, is there somewhere on your website where I could apply to become a therapist? How do you find your people?
Sure. So we use a couple of different. Word of mouth is huge. Aeris Consulting, which is AERIS, it's up on the screen. Consulting.com is our website. You can get a lot more information about what we do. There's a contact us there. You can shoot me an email personally.
Excellent.
And our number's up on the website as well.
Good. So I'm here with Ed Frost. He is the president of Aeris Consulting. I'm Jim Cucinotta, as you should know by now. We have a tradition, right? You're going to look into camera 3. You're going to tell people who you are, what you do, how to contact you, and why they should care.
Hi, I'm Ed Frost. I'm a registered respiratory therapist in many states. I also sit on the State Board of Respiratory Care here in the state of New Jersey. I run a company called AerisConsulting.com, and Aeris is essentially a high-tech provider of respiratory services in long-term care facilities. At Aeris Consulting, what we do is bridge the gap between the hospital and the long-term care facility, and we allow a skilled nursing facility to provide all of the respiratory services needed to get their resident well and to keep them from being readmitted. The best way to get a hold of us is on our website at aerisconsulting.com. You can call me directly. My number's up there. You can fill out an information sheet. We do anything from simple in-services to high-tech ventilator in-house programs across the country. Currently, we operate anywhere from Virginia, as of today, Virginia, all the way to Maine, and some in Ohio. It's been a very needed service, and with the way healthcare companies, the way the whole economy and the issues with the Accountable Care Act and such, hospitals are really putting pressure on skilled nursing facilities to keep their residents out of the hospital and to get them well, and we're the expert service that can help them provide that.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us today. Ed Frost, Aeris Consulting. I'm Jim Cucinotta. We will be right back with more Morning Coffee.